Newcastle hit 5 goals at London Stadium last night. Ooh, to pile the pressure on Hammers manager Davy Moyes. The defeat leaves West Ham outside of the relegation zone. What, on goal difference now? Davy spoke to talkSPORT's Ian Abrahams, the Moose, after the game.
First of all, did you make it tonight?
Not much.
Fair enough. Listen, going forward, West Ham looked okay, but defensively, I mean, that was pretty poor. Embarrassing.
I agree. Yeah. I could put those words to it. I think that I was embarrassed by goal 1 and 2, never mind goal 3 and 4, because we gave away 2 terrible goals in the first half, which shouldn't have been. But you know, let's be fair. Players, if you've been a player or people who talk about the game, you can make individual mistakes, and that happens in the game, and we did that later on. But we didn't give ourselves any chance. We got back into the game at half time, and deservedly so, because we hadn't played that badly. In fact, we'd played quite well, and probably played better than we had against Southampton at the weekend. But we started the game, we gave a goal away after, 15-20 seconds, and it was a mountain to climb then.
I saw you bent over almost double with, I don't know what it was, anger or embarrassment. I mean, on the touchline, you looked like you wanted the ground to open up and swallow you.
I did, aye. Yeah, you're right, I did. Because you're there, you do the job, you plan your team, you work on things. But as we said, individual mistakes can happen, and it happened tonight.
Finally, you've had to bat off questions all season about your future. I've been at Rush Green on several occasions where you've had to deal with that from us in the media. More questions are coming away tonight after a 5-1 home defeat.
Yeah, if you're a manager, you expect it, yeah.
How are you going to deal with that?
Well, I'm answering your questions the best I can.
Well done, David, coming on, that's for sure. Do you imagine his team talk, Ali, before we get the Moose up at half time? And we're going to take a West Ham call, Matt, in a moment. Just bear with me, Matt. Imagine he's talk at half time, boys, we're back in this.
Oh, mate.
We just, come on.
But you look at the goals.
You know, let's keep it tight. We get a second, we get the equaliser, we can go on and win this game. And then, boom, all hell breaks loose.
The goals are unbelievable. I mean, even before the Zuma scores his header, the second goal, shocking. Third goal, shocking. Fourth goal, shocking. I thought the first goal was a good header, Wilson, you know what I mean? I mean, you got to say, again, you got to balance it by saying Newcastle, different class. I mean, I'm coming down.
Yeah.
You're coming down again to London after great results against United, and they've got a bit of form. I thought the wee kind of turning point with Newcastle, great result away at Forest when they scored late on to win that game. They're flying again. But you cannot have any chance at all if you defend the way the West Ham did last night. It's impossible.
I agree. West Ham fans, we're taking your calls this morning, 03717 223344. Let's talk to a West Ham fan right now who's called us. Matt. Morning, Matt.
Matt, good morning.
You don't fancy going to work today, Matt, do you? Whoa.
I don't. I've got a Newcastle support at work, mate, as well, so I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Do you know what I mean? It does my head in, Matt, and it's only part of the game, but this playing out from the back, trying to be clever, it's pointless. I just don't get it, me. I would stop it immediately if I was a manager.
Yeah, well, nothing works West Ham this season, but yeah, no, I totally agree. Playing out from the back, it doesn't work. As you said earlier on, 1 in 20 might work, the rest is shambolic. So that sums up West Ham this season, though, shambolic.
Matt, were you happy with the effort? Were you happy with the effort, or were Newcastle first to the ball? Were they a bit sharper and hungrier?
Yeah, you could see that they wanted it. Fair dues in the first 20 seconds. We probably should have had a goal, but you know, that just sums up our luck. Any other team, that would have been in the back of the net, but we've just got rotten luck this season. In my eyes, David Moyes does still need to go. You know, we get that. When you get a new manager, you get that new buzz. You get a couple of results, and that's what we need at the minute. You know, as things stands, I see us going into the Championship, and that hurts me to say that.
Oh, don't say that, Matt. Please don't say that. Let me bring in the Moose last night, who was talking to Davy Moyes after the game. A dejected Davy. Ian Abrahams. Moose, morning.
Morning, Moose. How are you, mate?
Morning, boys. How are you?
Oh, I was in despair watching that last night.
Oh, no, and you could hear it in Moyes' voice in the interview as well, Moose. I mean, the defending, mate, dear me, having watched the goals that West Ham lost last night, dear me, you've no chance as a coach or a manager.
Well, the first one's a free header, so I mean, I take on board what you're saying about it's a good header, but he's 7 yards out, he can't miss. The second one, the ball is placed 30 yards along the floor, no one cuts it out, and Jones is allowed to run through an absolute mile of space to score. The third one, immediately after half-time, the keeper bowled it out to the edge of the box. I hate this playing out from the back. Absolutely hate it. Again, makes a terrible error. In comes Jacob Murphy, takes the ball, squares it, Wilson does 3. And the 4, I mean, what the goalkeeper's doing is, it's a long ball. The keeper's come 15, 20 yards outside the penalty area. Why? First question. Secondly, if you do that, you've got to do one of two things. Either head it clear or whack it clear. He's tried to control it. It's come off his knee and just bounced up, and Isaac's put it into an empty net. I mean, you know, I've been watching football since 1976. I don't think I've ever seen worse defending in a game. The only plus point David Moyes could possibly had last night was that to get 4 mistakes like that out of the way in one game is better than to have one in each next 4 games going forward, because it was truly horrific.
Well, London derby next week, it won't be easy at Fulham, will it?
Yeah, I know, I'm there. I mean, West Ham have got to improve. I mean, going forward, they were okay. I mean, you know, I thought they carried a threat, although, you know, I still was unsure about how well McElhenney did, and Danny Ings barely got the ball when he came on. But defensively, Emerson should have been sent off, and why he wasn't taken off, if I'd had more time with David and felt like really piling on the pressure, I might have asked him that question last night live on the Sports Bar. But defensively, they were just all over the place, and you know, if they do that on Saturday, with or without Mitrovic, it will be without Mitrovic. Fulham still have a good player in Manor Solomon. They've still got some other good players like Decordova-Reid who can take advantage. You know, Dal Polina, you know, Pereira. It's going to be difficult for West Ham, and they do now need to recover, because you know you can't have another bad performance off the back of what happened last night. Yeah,
you know, Miss, I don't think I've seen so many West Ham fans leave so early in a match like I did last night.
Do you know what? It was. I'm not exaggerating here. The stadium was pretty much empty of West Ham fans with about 5-10 minutes to go.
You could see it for the last goal, mate. You could see it. Yeah.
And David said to me after, you know, I mentioned it to him after. You know, like managers would normally maybe make an excuse. He said, "Listen, I don't blame them. You know, I don't blame them for leaving early. I mean, why would you want to stay after the third and fourth goal last night and watch any more of it? I mean, it was. I use a word to David Moyes there, embarrassing. He said it, you know, he didn't disagree. You know, first time last night ever, I said to a manager, it looked like you wanted the ground to open up and swallow you. And you heard what he said, you know?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You can see it. He's got his hands on his knees. I watched it, Moose. Listen, Moose, obviously there'll be question marks over Davy's future again. You said that to him, and there was some.
No point in making a change.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it, Moose, and I'll run it by you guys. I'm looking at there's 4 or 5 teams that are still in the relegation zone. Have already changed their manager, and they're still in the relegation trouble. Yeah. Whether it's Southampton, whether it's Leicester, whether it's Bournemouth, whether it's Everton, you know, whether it's Leeds, Crystal Palace are still out it. So
I'll give you three reasons why I think there's no point. One, I think actually David Moyes is probably the best equipped man to get West Ham out of the problem they're in.
Yeah.
2, there's only 8 or 9 games to go, so making a change now, for me, is pretty much pointless. And the third reason is, just look at what's happened this week. Chelsea has sacked their manager. Leicester has sacked their manager. Have they gone and got someone in straight away? No, because there isn't anybody to get in. The only person you would have got in at this stage, really, to try and keep you up, is Sean Dyche. Once he went to Everton, it was pretty much pointless anybody else making a managerial change down the bottom. Leicester's best hopes of getting out of trouble was to have kept Brendan. West Ham's best hope of getting out of trouble is to keep David Moyes. Mm-hmm. If you want to make a change in the summer, that's a whole new discussion to have. But to get rid of the manager now would be totally counterproductive in my eyes.
Mr. Enjoy the game at Fulham, mate. I hope so. Crikey.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.